Hello learners, this is Excel with Habeeba with the topic Philosophical Foundation of Education. In the previous classes we have understood about educational philosophy, Western school of philosophy, then we have started with Indian school of philosophy. Under that we are going to cover the topic contributions of Swami Vivekananda, Rabindranath Tagore, Mahatma Gandhi and Aurobindo to educational thinking. So first let's start contributions of Vivekananda to educational thinking. Swami Vivekananda was not only a social reformer but also the educator, a great Vedantist, patriot prophet of India, born at Calcutta on 12th January 1863. Born with a yogic treatment, he used to practice meditation even from his boyhood and was associated with Brahmo movement for some time. So his contribution to the awakening of modern India is critic in its kind and quality. If education is viewed as the most powerful instrument of social change, his contribution to educational thought is of paramount importance. So he defines education as the manifestation of perfection that is already in man. This is the best definition. We can learn and remember and practice this. The manifestation of man's perfection, how man will become perfect, that is already inherent in man. We have to bring it outside. So according to him, education is a continuous process. It should cover all aspects of life involved with physical, material, intellectual, emotional, moral and spiritual. So his attitude towards modernization is that the masses should be educated before anything else is done. So he wanted to remove from India 4 evils. What are those 4 evils? That is priestcraft. Earlier priest used to dominate everywhere. Then poverty, that is poorness. Then ignorance, because of illiterate people, ignorance was spread all over. Then tyranny of the wise, those people who are educated and they feel they are the persons who have intellectual knowledge, they used to dominate the society. So he wanted to remove all these 4 major evils from our country. So his educational thought has very great significance today because modern education has lost much of its connection with the values of human life. So he suggested that education should not be for stuffing some facts into the brain but should aim at reforming the human mind. So what is a true education for him? It was not for their anybody's career but for the contribution to the nation. The great religious saint and social reformer, he died in the year 1902 when he was just 39 years. He is no more, but he will be remembered forever on this earth. His missions and his preaching are and will continue inspiring the coming generations. So let's continue with the principal features of Swami Vivekananda's philosophy. First under that is God resides in every human heart. That is the first philosophy of Swami Vivekananda. Then the best worship of God is service to mankind, obviously. Serving to other people, that is the best service we can give to God also, we can impress the God also. Then ethics and morality should be the real basis of life. If we don't have ethics and morality, all of us will be fighting with each other for no reason. So the next one is love and renunciation should permeate the universe. So love and renunciation, whatever we are doing, we should do with dedication and we should have the renunciation which permeate the universe. Then religion means self-realization. through self-control. It's not mere a religion or something or to be followed because our ancestors are following. No. But religion means self-realization. What are we? What are we doing? What service we can do to others? And also controlling our anger, controlling everything. We should not be too happy or too sad. We should control our emotions. That's the true meaning of our religion. We should not impose one religion on another. We should follow our own religion with our self-realization through self-control. This was the principal feature. These were the principal features of Swami Vivekananda's philosophy. Then meaning of education according to Swami Vivekananda, let's see here. The education which does not help the common mass of people to equip themselves for the struggle of life, which does not bring out strength of character, a spirit of philanthropy and the courage of a lion. Is it worth the name? Real education is that which enables one to stand on one's own legs. This is the not depending on others. We should stand our own. Education must provide life building, man making, character making, assimilation of ideas. The ideal of this type of education would be to promote an integrated person. That was his meaning of education here. Education must provide life building, man making, character making, assimilation of ideas. So this was the major meaning given by Swami Vivekananda related to education. Now Vivekananda's philosophy of education, let's see here. The first one is knowledge resides within the individual himself. What does it mean? The individual finds out this knowledge by experiencing it within himself. Perfection is inherent in everyone. It is the function of education to lead one to perfection. So therefore, what is the education here? Education should be made available to all. So the second one is the child furthers its own development. That means Swami Vivekananda says that it is wrong to think that we promote the development of a child. In fact, the child furthers his or her development by him or herself. He says everyone develops according to his or her own nature. When the time comes, everyone will come to know this truth. The child will educate himself, and job is to provide the necessary opportunity to remove the obstacles in their path. So to get a perfect job, he should be educated in perfect skills. So he or she will educate him or herself on his own. A plant grows itself. Does the gardener grow it? No. He just provides the necessary environment to it. It is the plant itself that does its own growing. So, thus Swami Vivekananda advocates the principle of self-education. The next one is education according to the nature and need of the child. So, in order to make education useful, it must be according to the nature and need of the child. It is not the teacher or the parents who will determine his needs and nature. His education should be patterned on the lines of these tendencies. The teacher has to visualize God in the soul of each child. Each child should be considered as manifestation of God. In fact, we have to serve God. Therefore, we have to serve each child. This was the philosophy of related to education of Swami Vivekananda. The fourth one is the ability of concentration is the essence of education. So, what is the essence of education here is concentration. For the acquisition of knowledge, concentration or attention is very necessary. For the success in life also, this power is very helpful. Everyone does not have the same power of concentration. With the help of this power, one can acquire useful knowledge and arrange it in mind for use whenever it is necessary. So, these are the main philosophy of education of Swami Vivekananda. Now let's see aims of education. The ultimate aim of all education and all training according to Swami Vivekananda is man making, and also he recommends the following major principles here. Aims of education, following aims of education he recommends: number 1, creation of self-confidence. Creation of self-confidence, that is, man has an immortal soul which is the treasure house of infinite powers. Man has infinite powers. Man should therefore have full confidence in himself and strive to reach that highest goal of his or her life. With leading self-confidence leads to self-realization. In Swamiji's own words, faith in us and faith in God, this is the secret of greatness. That means faith in us, ourselves, we should have the faith, and also in God. That means this is the secret of greatness according to him. Education of the right type should aim at removing the veil ignorance from our mind and make us understand that what actually we are. That is main. We should have the self-confidence and self-realization. Suppose if a child is not having self-confidence and self-realization, the future of the child will be in darkness. They don't know which side, which direction they have to move. If you really want to judge the character of a man, the next one is formation of character. If you character is the aggregate of man's tendencies, that is the sum total of the bent of his mind. We are what our thoughts have made us, obviously. It is therefore that education should aim at sublimating the evil tendencies of our mind. So what Swamiji said here, we want that education by which character is formed. If character is not formed in a good condition, education is mere waste. So education is very important to form our best character, and also strength of mind will be increased if we get education, and then intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. Then education must build up character and manifest our real nature. If you really want to judge the character of man, look not at his great performances, watch a man do his most common actions. That is, those are indeed the things which will tell you the real character of the great man. So, intellectuality is not the highest good. Morality and spirituality are the things for which we strive. So, our women are not so learned, but they are more pure. Why? Because of their dedication towards something. He does not consider a man as educated if he can only pass some examination and deliver good lectures. The basis of all system, social or political, rests upon the goodness of man. No nation is great or good because its parliament enacts this or that, but because its men are great and good. Because without men we cannot do anything. That means without human beings, we should say rather. The next one is development of personality. So personality is the influence, the impression one creates on the others. It is the personality of a man that counts. Obviously, for example, we are taking here Swami Vivekananda himself. So his personality, till now we are remembering and following him. According to Vivekananda, personality is 2/3 and his intellect and words are only 1/3 in making the real man. The ideal of all education, all training should be this man making, he says. The next one is service of man. That is, another important aim of education according to him is serving the God in man. Already everybody is having God inside, he says. That means serving to any mankind is serving to God according to him. It is the God in the sick, the poor, the miserable, the ignorant and the downtrodden what we should worship. In Swamiji's own words, if you want to find God, serve man. He was pained to see the wretched poverty of his countrymen. He therefore wanted that education must enable everyone to stand on his own feet and satisfy his own primary needs. The next one is promotion of universal brotherhood. Swami Vivekananda's love for mankind knew no geographical boundaries. He always pleaded for the harmony and good relationship of all the nations. He said, through education, we should gradually reach the idea of universal brotherhood by flinging down the walls of separation and inequality. In every man, in every animal, however weak or miserable, great or small, resides the same omnipresent and omniscient soul. The difference is not in the soul, but in manifestation. He insisted that the education must call forth this power in every person and broaden it to such an extent that it may cover the whole world. So the next one is keeping view the practical aspects of life. To Swami Vivekananda, the practical aspects of life must not be ignored in any scheme of education. Only then it will be possible to make an individual self-dependent and the country prosperous. So Swamiji, what he said here, it will not do merely to listen to great principles, you must apply them in the practical field, turn into constant practice. So he has emphasized the importance of education in agriculture and other practical arts. So the next one is aims of physical and mental development. The second aim of education is that the child should be able to promote national growth and advancement as a fearless and physically well-developed citizen of tomorrow. So, children are the future citizens. So, what we should do? Stressing the mental development of the child, Swamiji wished education to enable the child to stand on his own legs economically rather than becoming a parasite on others. So the next one is moral and spiritual development. Aim of moral and spiritual development. According to Swami Vivekananda, a nation's greatness is not only measured by its parliamentary institutions and activities, but also by the greatness of the citizens. But the greatness of citizens is possible only through their moral and spiritual development, which education should foster here. Next one is the aim of searching unity in diversity. Our country is the best example here related to unity in diversity. So what is the aim here? The aim of searching for unity in diversity. The true aim of education is to develop insight into the individuals so that they are able to search out and realize unity in diversity. Swami Vivekananda has further asserted that physical and spiritual worlds are one. Their distinctness is an illusion, that is Maya we call it as. Education should develop this sense which finds unity in diversity. So the next one is religious development. So what is the aim of education here? Religious development. To Swamiji, each individual should be able to search out and develop the religious seed embedded in him or her and thus find the absolute truth or reality. So he advocated the training of feelings and emotions so that the whole life is purified and sublimated. Then only the capacities of obedience, social service and submission to the teaching and preachings of great saints and saviors will develop in the individual. So education should foster this development. So these are all the main aims of education related to Swami Vivekananda. Now, according to Swami Vivekananda, what is the role of the teacher here? Let's see. The first one is, according to Swami Vivekananda, a person with an attitude or renunciation influence children through his ideal example. The teacher should be the ideal example, love his students, sympathize at their difficulties, teaching according to the needs, abilities and interests of them, contribute to their spiritual development can be a good teacher here. A student should have an inclination and eagerness to learn. How it will come? Because of the teacher only. He should follow some ideals. That is, he should follow the ideals laid down by his or her teacher. So Swami Vivekananda laid stress on the qualities. What are the qualities of the teacher? Let's see here. The number one, a person with an attitude of renunciation, influence children through his ideal example, love his students, contribute to their spiritual development, sympathize at their difficulties, teaching according to the needs and abilities and interests of the child. Now, according to Swami Vivekananda, what should be the curriculum here? The prime aim of education is spiritual growth and development, but this does not mean that he did not advocate material prosperity and physical well-being. He feelingly advocated the inclusion of all subjects and activities in the curriculum which foster material welfare with spiritual advancement. For example, spiritual perfection, Swamiji prescribed religious, philosophy, Upanishads, company of saints and their preachings, and for material advancement and prosperity, he recommended languages, geography, science, political science, economics, psychology, art, agriculture, industrial and technical subjects here. So, these are all the things, technical subjects together with games, sports and other physical exercises. Now, what are the methods of education here he prescribed? Vivekananda prescribed the same ancient spiritual methods of teaching wherein the Guru and his disciples lived in close association as in a family. The essential characteristics, let's see here, to control fleeting mental faculties by the practice of yoga. These are very important ones. Then to develop the mind by concentration and deep meditation is given important here. Then to gain knowledge through lectures, discussions, self-experience and creative activities. Then to imitate the qualities and characters of a teacher here, intelligent and clear understanding. Then to lead the child on the right path by means of individual guidance. That time itself they have given importance to individual guidance by the teacher. Then let's see the principles of teaching learning here. First, self-teaching. What is self-teaching? No one was ever taught by another. Each of us has to teach him or herself. A child educates itself. The next one is living examples of teachers. That is, words, even thoughts contribute only 1/3 of the influence in making an impression, the man 2/3. So, living example is very, very important. Then teaching through positive suggestions. We should give positive ideas. Negative ideas only weaken men. They make men weak. If you speak kind words to them and encourage them, they are bound to improve in time, obviously. Next one is concentration as the only method of education. The power of concentration is the only key to the treasure house of knowledge. Then lastly, qualities of the learner, a real thirst after knowledge and perseverance. What does it mean? That is, quality of the learner. What should be the quality? The conditions necessary for the taught are purity, a real thirst after knowledge and perseverance. So, these are principles of teaching learning. Now, the basis of modern education. That time itself he has given modern thoughts related to modern education. So, Swami Vivekananda felt that modern education all over the world has so far concentrated on the learning to do aspect and not on the learning to be. What you want to be, learning to do, he has given importance, faculty of educations. He says that education must focus on the requirement of the human mind. His philosophy of education is based on universal principles of morality and ethics. These are very important. Morality and ethics. So, he has given to him diversity is a real as unity. Matter is only wheeled spirit. Thus he creates a metaphysical synthesis reconciling the claims of spirit and matter, soul and mind, and makes it one of the chief bases of its philosophy of education. So what is the importance of yoga in education according to Swami Vivekananda? So Vivekananda wants to place maximum emphasis on concentration and meditation in the teaching learning process. In the practice of yoga, as it is in the practice of general education, 5 elements are necessary involved: the teacher, the taught, the aim, the subject, and the method. These are the 5 important elements here necessary here. He convinced of the fact that all knowledge in the human mind and that the same can be experienced by practicing concentration and meditation. So this is the importance of yoga. Now, transmission of knowledge. To Vivekananda, all teaching implies giving and taking. The teacher gives and the student receives. Here he stresses the need for effective participation in the teaching learning process. Teachers should motivate the students to acquire knowledge and develop in them scientific temper, secular outlook, and civic responsibility. These are stressed a lot. What are the important ones? To acquire knowledge, develop in them scientific temper, secular outlook, civic responsibility. Scientific temper in the sense they have to have the mind of inquiry based, and then secular, they should treat everyone with equality. Then civic responsibility, what is our duty towards society, they should understand what is right, what is wrong. Then learning through activity, he has given importance here. Vivekananda anticipated many modern thinkers in suggesting that learning through activity should be the guiding principle of any scheme of education. He wanted every activity in Indian schools and colleges, that is dance, drama, etc., inter-school and intercollegiate competitions are also required in order to enable the students learn how to sacrifice personal and selfish interests for the sake of the larger interests of the society. Then the ideal of womanhood in India. Women should be made ambitious. According to Swami Vivekananda, what he suggested, women should be able to make, women should be ambitious through a good system of education. That is, he made a strong appeal for raising the status of women along with that of man. He felt that it was much against the ancient ideal of India that women were not given enough opportunities for self-development. He wanted to raise the status of women. Then relevance of Swami Vivekananda's ideas in modern education. Let's see quickly here. What are the things here? Here education is conceived in the broad sense. Everything in the society plays an educational role. The formal education system is but part of the culture, and values in the system are inevitable, determined by the culture. So education is seen as an instrument for harnessing human drives, and as consequences it becomes to some extent a method of behavior modification. Education preserves rather than changes social values. Education is seen to abide by existing culture norms of the society. So value education he has given very much importance. Then peace education, that is constructive education for peace, must aim to reform humanity so as to permit the inner development of human personality and develop a more conscious vision of the mission of mankind and the present conditions of social life, as was so empathetically averred by Swami Vivekananda as well. What we need today is an education that is capable of saving mankind from the present predicament. Such an education involves the spiritual development of man and the enhancement of his value as an individual and preparing the young people to understand the time in which they live. Then comes the environmental education. environmental education is viewed as an integral part of the education process. It is taken to be centered on practical problems and can be an interdisciplinary character. It should aim at building up a sense of values, contribute to public well-being, and concern itself with survival of the human species. Its force therefore should aside mainly the initiative of learners and their involvement in action, and it should be guided by immediate and future subject of concern. So environmental education enables them to manage the environment in which they live through a judicious use of resources. Nowadays we call as protection of environment and how to preserve. That is very important for future generations. Next one is the citizenship education. The concept of citizenship education should target to mold the future citizens into the frame of a civic society where citizens are aware of their rights, respect democratic ideals, and work for a welfare society with shared responsibility. So, education for democratic citizenship is a set of practices and activities. What is the aim of it? Aimed at making young people and adults better equipped to participate actively in democratic life by assuming and exercising their rights and responsibilities in society. That is fundamental rights, fundamental duties, etc. So these are the relevance of Swami Vivekananda's ideas in modern education. So we come to the end. Before that, what are the other contributions? He laid stress on the character development, advocated the education of the masses, he reviewed the spirit of humanism, and also he says he considered the education of women as the chief instrument. He stressed the teaching of Western learning and also service to mankind. He emphasized on service to mankind, and also Ramakrishna mission established by Swami Vivekananda is running several educational institutions and spiritual centers, hospitals, dispensaries, and doing several types of social work. Thus, Swami Vivekananda's views on education may be summed up in his words, that is, we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one stands on one's own feet. So we come to the end of this topic. I'll come up with the next contributor, that is Rabindranath Tagore, in the next class. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.